Hey, 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 babe. Coach Jules here. So, first of all, I want to say congratulations on joining Becoming Her. I'm so happy to see you here, and I'm excited for this journey for you. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today is embracing change. So, this can be one of the hardest things that we do, and let's face it, making a lifestyle change, guys, it's huge. And it takes time. It's not something that hope happens overnight, and it also can feel very exciting at times but also very overwhelming. And I'm sure as you're starting this program you have a mixed bag of emotions, ranging from being very excited to get started to being extremely overwhelmed with everything that's happening and almost feeling like you're in this world of chaos right now, because moving out of our comfort zone can feel uncomfortable. It feels easier to do the things that we've always done versus making the changes and the shifts to do things a little bit different. So, what I would advise you to do is eat the elephant in the room one bite at a time. Give yourself grace. Well, I mean, hold yourself accountable, but also give yourself grace, because there are going to be times where you're going to mess up a little bit, and that's okay. The idea is to get 1% better every day. We're here to help you build a foundation, to teach you new habits that will become new values, and ultimately have you living in a world of freedom, feeling good about yourself and confident, and having long-lasting, sustainable results that just fuel your soul. I don't know what else to say. It feels good. So trust the process, guys. But let's talk a little bit about some of the things that might be happening as you go through the beginning part of this program. In the beginning of anything that feels uncomfortable, that is a big life-changing moment, we will tend to want to resist change. It's a big thing, okay? It's something, and it doesn't just need to be wrapped around fitness, weight loss, health. It can be with anything that happens in our life. When big changes happen, we tend to want to resist them because they can feel scary. We can think of things like, what if I fail again? And almost we become our own little self-saboteurs. So some things, that the ways that this can show up, and I like to share these, or we like to share these, because if you can identify these things as they're showing up, it will be easier to overcome them. So let's talk about it a little bit. So one of the ways that is common for us to resist change, and the way that it'll show up, is in delay. An example of delay in this particular scenario could be, I really want to meal prep because I know it's going to help me. I know that this is something that's going to set me up for success, but I just don't have the time. I'll do it next week. And then you spend the week scrambling, trying to get your nutrition together, and at the end of each day you're like, son of a bitch, I still feel the same way. I still am struggling to get my protein goals in. Blah, blah, blah. All the little things. That's one way it'll show up. And a big thing about the delay can also be the denial, right? And saying things like, well, I don't really do that. I don't really miss my step goal. I don't really skip out on the gym. I don't really eat a lot of junk food, as we're shoving another chip in our mouth. Things like that. An example for me, I don't really go to Starbucks that often as I'm pulling up to the drive-thru to order my cold brew for the second time of the day. Does that make sense? Like, we'll start to deny things when we are looking to make change. We also will start to do things like rationalize with ourselves. Okay, we have these little conversations with ourselves. Well, I really can't do that today because, well, the kids have got this and this is going on and that's happening. So, you know what, I I really don't have time to eat today, or I don't have time to meal prep, or whatever. I can't really get all my steps in today because, well, all of these things are going on. And the reality is you're a badass boss babe, and you make shit happen, and you've been making shit happen in your life. So you can do this too. But again, this change feels a little uncomfortable, so sometimes we can do things like rationalize. And again, this may not be you. These are just little things to look for in yourself as you are moving or navigating through this week. Avoidance. Avoidance is another way. Sometimes we'll say, well, I didn't really follow my workout this week. I didn't get all my steps in. I had 5 donuts, and I know I wasn't supposed to do that. So, oh my God, I'm just not going to check in with my coach today. I'm just not going to check in with my coach this week. Well, first off, that's like a non-negotiable. This is how we help you, is through check-ins. This is how we will guide you along the way. Like when you check in, if you fall off or something doesn't go right, the easiest thing is to avoid it, because, right, you don't want to, like, feels uncomfortable to say, man, I just didn't do it. And that little voice in our head might be saying, yeah, Sally, there you go again, self-sabotaging yourself. But the reality is avoidance isn't going to help, because this is how we as the coaches help you. We're able to coach you and say, all right, so what happened? What'd you learn from it? How can we do this differently going down the road? That's why you are here. So, what are some ways that you can overcome resisting change? Well, let's take a little deeper dive into that. We already talked about a few of them, but first of all, one is acknowledging your fears. It's okay to be nervous. It is okay to feel overwhelmed. It is okay to think things like, what if I fail? These are some of the things that are okay. Acknowledge it. Like, this is the facts. I am afraid of failing again. Talk about your concerns. Talk about them with your coach. Maybe in the community, you have Zoom calls with your coach and a community of women. You probably have, well, you don't probably, you have several communities within the app, as well as you are probably in a community with your coach as well. So you have opportunities to communicate with your coach on a weekly basis. You have opportunities to lean into any of the communities in this app and join coaching calls with your coach and talk through these things, because I guarantee you, if you're feeling this way, somebody else is too. So sharing where you're at with somebody else might not only help you, it may help somebody else. And knowing that you're not alone in this, that's huge as well. So learn to just acknowledge your fears. And maybe it's just talking about it with your partner or your best friend. Embrace learning. I talked about this a little bit before, when we want to avoid, say, check-ins or something like that. Embrace learning. If you feel, as it says here, if you feel like you don't have the skills to succeed, remember, first of all, you're new to this. You are learning a very new process, and it is okay. You don't need to know it all right now. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. That is what we are here for. That is how this program is designed. It's designed to take you on a journey to stack habits, to create values by stacking habits. You don't even know what we're doing sometimes, because we just keep stacking things on, one after another, and pretty soon you've created a new value and a new shift, and you're looking at something totally different than you ever had before. Another really big one that we talk about right here that I really love is identifying the why behind it. So sometimes we have old habits, And they stick around because maybe we don't understand the feeling behind them. So here we talk about they feel rewarding to us, right? They feel like a stress relief, or they feel like comfort. You want to recognize these types of feelings around the why. So a good example of like why. I come home at night and all I want to do is toss myself down on the couch and watch reruns of Grey's Anatomy. I'd love to just grab a cheese board and a glass of wine versus going to the gym or eating something healthy and wholesome, right? Maybe you've been doing good all week long and the weekend comes or the Friday comes and that's really like you're fighting this unhealthy habit that you have been doing in the past. And I don't know what it is. Insert unhealthy habit. I'm going to say it's sitting down on the couch, turning on the television, and you really just want that bag of chips, that bag of pretzels, whatever it is, that glass of wine, I don't know, whatever the hell it is, right? Identify the why behind the habit. So first of all, Coach Jules, I don't know why, but on Friday nights or at the end of the night, all I want to do is munch or snack. Okay, what are you doing? Why do you want to munch or snack? Well, typically I'm watching television. Did you watch television? Do you watch television all the time? Yes. Have you always sat down and watched television at the end of the night? Yes. And what did you always do when you sat down and watched television with your partner every night? Well, we snacked on pretzels. See? So identify the why. So, okay, so why did you do that? Well, it was enjoying each other's company. Okay, what else? It was relaxing. It was relieving stress. Now you know the why behind the snacking. So now you have the ability to now make the shift and the change. Do you see where I'm going? Like, why do you want the thing? Why is this happening? Is it to relieve stress? Is it to reward yourself? Is it to make you feel better? Or do you just fucking really want it? I don't know. But if you can identify the why behind it, then you can start to shift the process and learn to do healthier ways. So for example, if it's a stress relief at the end of the week, well, maybe you and your partner could go for a walk. Maybe you find something else to do that will help relieve the stress that isn't the same thing that you've been doing for years. Anyway, change isn't always easy, babe. Doesn't happen overnight, but you will get there. And I hope that this little thing helped you. Peace.